Well, good evening and welcome to Senior Info. And it's just the two of us tonight.
That's
We
it.
have no
And
guests this week.
you're telling me this is the finale?
This is the finale for
the
the
summer.
season, yeah. We'll
the
be
s-
back in
yeah.
September.
Yes.
We'll line up some guests.
Okay. Sounds good.
But unfortunately, I like to know, a good friend, Russ Swallow, has to pretty much retire.
Call it quits.
Yeah,
Yeah. Poor Russ.
For
Hi,
health
Russ, if
rea-
you're watching.
for health reasons,
Right. Yeah.
unfortunately, because he was a great guest.
Yes.
And he
and
got
you,
me a lot of guests.
I was going to say the two of you worked well together and did a lot with the radio and
Yeah,
bounced ideas off of each other, and he's a great resource, definitely. So, Russ, if you're going to tune in and watch this at some point, we wish you the very best, and we won't forget about you. We'll keep checking in on you and making sure that you're doing as well as you can be. So,
but as far as resources, that's what we want to talk tonight.
yes,
Because
we
that's
do.
what your senior center is, a resource.
Huge resource. Yes.
And today, it's, I'm thinking about when I was getting ready to come down here, people are living longer than ever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go back 50, you've been around 50 years now.
We're celebrating our 50th
Yeah.
year.
So we go back
Mhm.
75 years ago,
Right.
there wasn't that much of a need.
I think it seemed to be different. I don't think we were faced with, I mean, I'm sure there were a lot of social issues.
Yeah, but they handled
I don't know.
family, a lot of it was handled within the family.
Right, yeah.
And, don't forget, when they introduced Social Security, they set the retirement age at 65 because most people didn't make it to 65. So they weren't gonna collect it anyway.
Right, and now it's very different.
Well, now it's even higher.
It's higher, and like you said, people are living longer. So,
Right, and they're talking about even going higher on
Yeah.
retirement age.
wow.
But there was a need back 50 years ago, and there was a movement within Massachusetts, within the communities,
Yes,
to form senior centers.
yes.
And I think now every town has one, right?
Almost every town. There are a
If they
few
don't,
towns.
if they don't have one, they have a regional.
Exactly. I was just going to say, if they don't have one within their community, and it's very few, I mean, it's just a little handful, then they're regionalized.
Yeah, because your town's so small, it's not worth having one.
No. Right.
But, yeah, so, but even, you got in Millville, I think they have one in Millville.
Oh, yes, they have one,
Yeah,
but they're not
and-
open they're not open a full week, I don't think.
Right.
I think it's just certain days and hours. But as we know, a lot of older folks jump around to different communities.
Yeah.
Not necessarily going to the senior center that's in the town they live in. They jump around, and which is great.
That's a good thing to bring out too. You don't have to be from the town to go to,
No.
to go to Plummer Place.
No. The only thing that we will not, and I shouldn't say we won't, but the only thing that we don't provide to people that aren't from Northbridge is outreach services, because we can barely handle
what you got,
what we
yeah.
have here in Northbridge. And let me
Right.
tell you, this particular week has been very interesting when it comes to housing. We've had a lot of people come in from living in not senior housing. They're living in apartments that are private, so
Yeah,
they're being served eviction notices. There's been a turnover in ownerships in a lot of properties in different
Oh.
sections of town, and these new property owners are just handing out notice to quit left and right. So we've had several
oh my,
folks come in that have lived in some of these properties 16 plus years.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit of a crisis.
it is, well, I know a lot of times when an elderly person has to move out of their apartment they've been in for the last 20 years, it kills them.
Yeah, it's what they've known. It's
Yeah.
it's their home.
Yeah.
You know, they may not own it necessarily, but they've lived there a long time and have taken
Yeah.
care of it. And so this is a concern. that my
Wow.
outreach worker and I,
Now, what is the reason? Are they trying to raise the rents?
yes,
Ah,
yes. So what we're finding is these new property owners want to come in and do extensive renovations, which that's wonderful.
yeah,
But they also want to do that to bring in higher rents.
higher rent, yeah. Oh, yes, I know. I owned an apartment house and I sold it, the guy I sold it to, did extensive renovation, but he's getting 3 times what I got.
Of course, right, yeah.
And that's a big problem within the valley. Rents have gone through the roof.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a big concern. So we've reached out to some colleagues and other agencies within our Blackstone Valley area to to pull together. We want to get everybody around the table to start talking about this, because I have a feeling just the folks that we've seen this week is just the tip of the iceberg.
So you're trying to regionalize the problem and,
Well, we just want to be able to tap into some other agencies that could probably help us, especially if we have to help these folks find alternative
yeah,
housing.
there's not a lot of rents available.
There is not. And the wait list for senior housing is
Oh, my God.
years,
Yes.
not just, a year
Well,
or two,
part
years.
of the problem is Lake Terrace.
Mhm.
They're taking people with other problems.
So what happens is they have this application called the CHAMP application, and you can do it online. You can do the paper form too, but that goes into one big pool. So it doesn't matter what community you're from. They just go from, it's like chronological of, first come, first serve, pretty
Right.
much. Wherever your application has come in, that's where you hold your place. And then when you come up on the list, you may be living in Northbridge, but you get a call from the Cape for a property that's available.
Yes, I know people in Northbridge. I ended up in Grafton and Millbury, all over the place.
Mhm.
And you grab it because you got to have someplace to live.
Exactly, yeah, but it might not be ideal. On the CHAMP application, you can actually check off which communities are your preferences.
Right.
So someone from this area could say, I'm going to just stay within, the Blackstone Valley. But for some other folks, they're so desperate, they just probably check all the boxes. I don't know.
Right. Well, yeah, it's just you want a place to live.
Right.
Especially if it's a couple that are now were separated by death or something like that.
Oh, right, yeah.
And the wife or the husband can't take care of the place anymore.
Right.
They need something like the elderly
Yeah.
housing.
Absolutely, yeah. So a little bit of a issue that we're,
If you get to move to Cross
Easy.
Street,
yes.
there's an opportunity there to put some senior housing in, right?
Well, it was looked at previously. It wouldn't necessarily be a part of this plan, but we may
No,
want to
but
look
you-
at that
But you could look at it after, once you
Once we
locate
get there.
there, there's enough,
once we're there.
yeah, once you,
I'm
there's
so
enough,
I'm
there's
so
enough.
optimistic.
You're right. Well, you're gonna be optimistic.
So if
Uh,
anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, this past Tuesday night was our spring annual town meeting.
Yes, and it was a lengthy one.
It was very lengthy. We were there very late. And thank goodness, our article for the proposal of a new senior center at 44 Cross Street, it was article number 27.
I
And
know.
thank goodness, a certain selectman made the motion to pull that article out of order
Yes.
and bumped us up to, I think we got into the 5th position.
I think it was the 5th or the 6th,
It was right after the school's
Yes.
article, which was number 4. So I think
the 5th.
we came 5th.
Yeah.
And
Because there were 28 articles, so it would have been next to the end.
so we appreciate that immensely because, of course, many of the folks that were there for Article 27 are older,
Yeah,
don't like to drive at night. It happened to be raining that night.
Yes.
So,
Rain
a
and
lot of
fog.
different factors.
Yeah.
But fortunately, that article did pass, which means that it made it to the ballot. So on May 20th, the voters of Northbridge will have the opportunity to have their, to check off the box whether you're in favor of or not, and I hope you're in
Vote
favor.
yes if you're in favor, vote no if you're not.
Exactly.
There's
And,
there's a big significance here, though. The school one is an override of 2.5.
So the wording is different, correct?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Both of them need a majority vote
Yeah.
to win. Not a 2/3 or a 3/4, just a majority.
okay,
So you can win by one vote.
okay,
The difference is, the school one is an override of Prop 2.5,
okay.
and that goes on forever.
Yes, it's a permanent tax
Yes.
rate increase.
Right. Permanent tax increase, as well as it takes away from the restriction of 2.5 after that.
Okay,
Whereas the senior center is a debt exclusion, and that's a debt exclusion for 30 years.
right,
So it's like a mortgage.
Yeah.
But when you spread it out over 30 years, it doesn't really increase the tax rate very much.
no, it's minimal. The numbers that we've saw is,
Yeah, I think 3 or 4, not much per month.
no,
Not very much at all.
right,
And in the end, it could actually save money, because the building you're in is getting costly by the day.
Did you see all the other things that had come up? We had to have our heating system replaced,
Yes.
so we had to move around some things that were
But
allocated for
they
capital.
were gonna repair the fence.
We were gonna do the fence, and then this other issue came up, so we said, well, we'll take the money for the fence,
Yep.
and we have to repair the
Yeah,
heating
you have to have the
system.
heat.
We have to. I mean, it was just, there were days that it was pretty miserable, and we knew that it was just a matter of time before it was going to go out completely.
Yes.
And then we have some other issues. We have a side door that's not technically supposed to be, it's supposed to be just a fire exit.
Uh-huh.
The staff had been using it, but it's stairs going
Yes.
down. Those stairs it's rotting underneath. So as you saw, that was one of the capital expenses that was approved. We have to have that, those stairs completely replaced. And then another ADA door. But again, you're right.
Yes.
There are things that, like, I know the elevator has been mentioned many times.
That
It's
works
only
and
gonna get
sometimes
worse.
doesn't work.
Yeah, and the fire department is there quite often to help us out with that one. So yes, there are things that are going to happen
God
with an
forbid
old.
somebody very ill gets stuck in that elevator, someone that needs medical attention.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't need medical attention, but good thing I
That
had.
could happen.
Yeah, we do have there is an emergency button to call, and luckily, when I did get stuck in it one day, I called down, I pressed the button and it goes right to the Northbridge PD, so.
But see, that ties up the police now. Not necessarily, because you need a decent working elevator.
Right,
If that happened in the town hall elevator, they'd replace it immediately. Because you have to have accessibility,
you do, yeah.
which the new one will, because it'll be one floor.
One floor, no elevator, exactly.
Yeah,
There's no need to have.
no handicap ramp,
No, just flat
right in,
walk-in.
just like
Yeah.
here,
Yes,
right in through the front door.
exactly, and plenty of parking.
That's the other thing, the parking lot, number one, is too small.
Mm.
You know, they one time I went to go down to that group of Dell Men's.
Oh, right, yeah,
I couldn't find the parking spot,
no,
and I think that was in January. It was cold,
right.
and I have a hard time.
And you have to go uphill to
Well,
get to the
I was
entrance.
gonna have to park on the street that.
Oh, yeah.
And that, I don't think the people who live there like that, everybody parking on their street.
They have been very gracious, but you're right. I think, after a while, it's going to get
Yeah,
a little annoying.
right. Plus the fact, if you park in the lower part of the parking lot, you got a tough walk uphill.
Yeah.
And if you have a hard time with your knees like I do, it's not a fun thing.
No, and even though we have 8 designated handicap spots, it's not enough.
No, they're all filled.
Yeah, yeah. So
So,
if we had one flat surface parking lot with, you know, there's just so many reasons
right,
why it would be such a positive move for us and for the next 50 years. Because as we know, you know, the numbers of older adults is growing by the
Yeah.
day. And, you know, younger families aren't having as many children. So it just seems like we're going to have a lot more older adults than younger kids. And there's always going to be a
school
need.
enrollment is down,
Yes,
but your enrollment is up.
my enrollment is up for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have people register to go to the senior center.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Oh, you do?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. We have a database called My Senior Center. It's a
Oh,
program that we pay for annually that it essentially helps us with all our statistics. So when someone comes into the senior center, we give them an ID tag that they can check in with, and you check off the programs that you're there to attend.
Oh.
And it's how we keep track of, as I said, all those numbers.
Oh, and then you can tell what programs are worthwhile.
Absolutely, yeah,
Oh, that's a good idea.
yeah.
How many people do you have attending now?
So on average, we have 50 to 65 people a day.
A day, right?
But that can be coming in for just one program and
Right.
leaving.
Yeah,
Other folks we have come in for a few programs and stay for a couple of hours. On a Tuesday, they might attend a program, stay for lunch, might do another program in the afternoon. So it varies. I mean, some folks we only see maybe once a week. Some folks we see 3 times a week. Other folks we might see, you know, a couple times a month. So it depends on the interest and
right.
what they want to be there for. I mean, we have folks that leave us for the winter. They're
Well, yeah, they go to
snowbirds.
Florida.
Yeah, they go down to Florida. So those folks are just starting to trickle back in.
Yeah,
And again, we have people from other towns and that come in for maybe just special events. And so it varies. But
I know
I would,
the Stone Hill project,
yeah,
you're getting a lot of people from there.
a ton of people.
It's over 55 project,
Yes.
so they're all in that age group. And it's amazing how many of them are coming down there.
They are, and I can't tell you that they are just a wonderful group. They all come from different places and backgrounds, and but every single person that has walked through our door from that community has been just wonderful and so supportive and so excited for the idea of having a new facility.
Yeah,
Even though it'd be a little bit further, they're still
I was
pretty
on the planning
excited.
board when we approved that project. So there's something too now. Part of it is that we're gonna put a new sidewalk in. I would like to see them take that money and do something else with it.
Right.
If we move.
And how do you think we would go about,
Planning board can do it.
we can do it? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Because I knew that was something that was,
Yeah, the planning board voted to approve that plan,
okay,
so they can vote to change it.
okay, all right,
And that would make sense, have something to do with maybe put new sidewalks on Cross Street or
Right. Yeah.
something like that, something equivalent. They got the money allocated for it.
exactly, yeah. And so, and again, just to have a new facility for them is key because we know that when their development was being planned out, they didn't put in a community building. They don't have that community space up there.
Right, they didn't
So-
plan on that.
No, so they had, it was strongly suggested that the senior center would be
Right.
a place for them to use And so we still want to, we're very much,
Well, that's the other thing with the new senior center. It's actually gonna be a community center.
right.
And there'll be a available space in there for community events, right?
We have strongly emphasized that it's not just for the older adults of Northbridge. This building is going to be for the whole community.
Yes,
And I think it's important for people to know that while it will be a senior center by day,
yeah,
after hours, which means after Council on Aging hours, evenings, weekends, I want the community to use that building because, as I said, it is for everybody. And why not make this wonderful investment and have it be used by everyone?
you could probably put some youth programs in.
Yep.
And, because youth mix well with the elderly.
Certainly do.
They both like each other.
Exactly, and so we see wonderful opportunities and already have had some conversations. So just think about where the Cross Street site is. We're very close to middle school,
Oh, yeah,
high school, Christian school,
yes,
but also the churches
yes,
being in that neighborhood. St. Patrick's Church has already voiced a strong desire to be very much a part of that center, whether they use it for their own programs or partnering with us for the youth programs, intergenerational,
yes.
doing different things, having a garden together outside.
Right, yeah, and you get the place available there.
Right, and so with that, we will also have the food pantry with us.
Ah,
And I see opportunity there for produce
yeah.
from the garden
Right there.
to supplement
right
the
there you
food pantry.
They
So
got a
it's a
beautiful
lot
area for
of,
gardening. They got a
yeah.
garden right there now, I
They
believe,
do.
yeah.
and so Father Tomasz and I have talked about that space,
Yeah.
and we already have some visions of it being, that and so much more. And I think it was important that it was brought up at the town meeting the other night that the food pantry is very much a part of that plan. They are with us now, and their conditions are very poor. Their space it's essentially
Yeah.
our basement of
Yeah,
our
in the
building.
basement. And
Yeah, it's, they make do with what they have, but they deserve a
those
new
school
space.
basements, I know, that's where the bathrooms were.
Yes.
They were always kind of damp and dingy.
Mhm.
They weren't made for people to occupy.
No. We've made the best of it, and, we've made the best of the building.
Right.
And,
Yeah, it was not built to be a senior center.
no,
It was built to be a school back in the early 50s.
Right.
Early part of the last century.
absolutely. Right.
Sometimes I forget we're already in a new century.
I know, we already are. Time flies when you're having fun, Harry.
Yes. But anyway, yeah, it's not a desirable place, but it was a perfect place at the time.
Yes.
The building was available.
Exactly. And the renovation was done by Blackstone Valley Tech. And they did receive some grant money, and there were some donations through the Friends of Northbridge Elders. And
then you've done things over the period that you've been there.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. In my time, we've done mostly cosmetic things.
Right.
We did do a new ramp outside, and that was through a grant. We did some retrofitting of offices within the building, but again, mostly cosmetic things.
Right.
But as you said, with an older building, maintaining gets harder and harder.
But you had to work with what you got.
Yeah.
With the new one, will be designed according to what your needs are.
But we say that it's a universal design.
Yes.
So while it will meet our needs, universal meaning that any group could come in and use the space.
Right, exactly.
Which is wonderful because if something happens, say 20 years from now, senior centers go out of style. Let's
Right.
just say it won't happen, but if that
Well,
building could be used
You never know what the
for,
future holds.
no, we don't. But that building could be used for something else
Right,
quite easily.
yes.
So,
And the thing is, you're gonna have a lot more parking.
yes,
But another big factor, you're gonna be right in the back of downtown.
yes, which is another key factor because we want to connect the parking that's behind the buildings on Church Street, that
Yes.
municipal parking lot.
Yes,
We want to make a connection, not through with a vehicle, not wide enough for that,
Right.
but a walkway.
yes,
So that's additional parking.
yes, additional, plus the fact that people that visit the senior center might wanna take a little walk to one of the restaurants or even do some shopping.
Yes, yeah. And there will also be a walkway on the other side. I'm talking like this is already, happening, but
Well,
I
these-
think
these are
because
in the
we've
plans,
been,
though.
we've been doing all these plans, yes,
I mean, the plans have been drawn up.
yes, oh, yeah, yeah,
So if it doesn't happen, well, it doesn't happen, but the plans are there.
right. The plans are ready to go.
In fact,
A little bit of tweaking, but ready to go.
in fact, if it does fail, it could always be brought back.
It could be, yeah, yeah. And I've seen that other communities have had to do that. You
Yeah.
know, it's not just on the first shot, it's, taken a couple of tries. But let's hope that it doesn't have to.
The big emphasis I got is the fact that it's not gonna be that much money on your
No.
tax.
No, it's pretty incredible when you
And
look at the numbers.
we've got some items that are already gonna be off, will be coming off, paid off.
Yes,
You know, I mean, the school, we just built a new elementary school, that's gonna be there for a long time.
mm-hmm.
But the high school, seems like just yesterday, it's already 20 years old.
It's already 20 years
Over
old.
20 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what, 25 years old, I think it was 2000.
Was it at 2000? I thought it was too, yeah.
Yeah, so about, see
Because
how
I had
fast,
I had moved to town in 2001, so yes, it was. and
yes,
it
you
was-
see how fast it goes?
I know, it does. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
DPW is paid off,
Yes,
so, I mean, things are getting done.
yes, exactly. And that's what the communities need to do. That is just invest, back into, these these uses for the different departments and,
Right,
for the good of everybody.
and, there's some concern, they said, well, if we do that, the town, evaluation in town will go up. That's not gonna affect your taxes.
No.
'Cause that's what they tried to explain to that woman that got up,
Mm,
and she couldn't, I don't know if she could grasp it. The town is allowed to tax at certain level,
right,
that so much money it can take in. So if valuations go up, the rate goes down.
mm-hmm,
If valuations go down, the rate goes up.
right.
It's
It
pretty
has
simple.
to balance out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And under 2.5, you can't raise them more than 2.5%
right,
every year.
mm-hmm,
So what we rely on mostly is growth.
exactly, right.
And, my phone.
Oh, is that you?
But the thing is that if you got growth, that helps your tax rate.
Right,
People complain about all this housing being built. Well, it's not a bad thing either.
it's not, because you're bringing in more tax dollars.
Exactly.
Yes,
That land that had all trees on it is now worth a lot more.
Right.
It's got a high valuation on it.
exactly, yes.
It's gonna pay a lot more taxes.
Right, and the more you bring in, you spread it out, among
Yeah.
everybody, then, it doesn't hit you personally as hard.
Right.
With
And,
more
I
growth.
spent 30 years on the planning board, so I know a little bit of what I'm talking about.
Yes,
The two things that bring you the best taxes is condominiums,
mm-hmm,
because they're closer together and they
right,
take up
more
less space,
units,
and they all pay high. They're usually well, and over 55.
right,
'Cause they're selling those homes up at Stonehill
like crazy.
at half a million or more. I
Mhm.
had one of them, I heard, went for 800,000.
Or maybe, yeah, because I
Yeah.
was gonna say, I'm seeing that they're always 6, close to 7, maybe
Yeah.
this, yeah,
And, come on, that's bringing good tax dollars in.
sure does,
And they're all
absolutely.
seniors.
They are, yeah,
So, what's wrong with rewarding them with a new senior center?
that's right, absolutely. And I think just in general, rewarding the older adults of this community with a beautiful building, because they've all worked hard and
Yeah.
they've all, been supportive of every other thing. Well, I would say mostly supportive. So why not have our turn?
Right, and we're talking about the kids in school. Okay, kid graduating from high school next year even.
Mm.
Okay, in 30 years, they're going to the senior center.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Time flies by.
It does. It does. Yeah. I know it's hard to put it all in perspective, but you're right. That's exactly
Yes,
how it
and
will be.
the thing is, the other thing too is, a lot of elderly need that because today, you don't have families sticking around like they used to. Many years ago, when I was growing up, Nana or Grandma,
You all live together.
yeah, they moved in with you.
Hmm.
You shared the same apartment.
That's right. Yeah.
But that doesn't happen anymore. In
No.
a lot of cases, the younger ones, the offsprings are moving out. They're moving into other parts of the
I was
country.
going to say in other parts of the country, exactly, which makes it even more difficult to be
Yes.
a long distance caregiver. So we become the lifeline for
Yes.
many, many people.
And you help them with their issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. It's not just a place where seniors go hang out.
No. No.
I mean, you work with the seniors to get them aid for the heating.
Yep. It's different kinds of benefits. One is fuel assistance, but right down to even just helping somebody complete a form. Some
Yes.
of these folks, not only just because they don't have computer literacy, but also just sometimes looking at a paper form and figuring out how to best complete that form.
Right.
We've had folks that come in just for that, and they're so grateful. I mean, it's like you've given them $1 million because you've taken the time to sit down with them to go through an application or whatever it may be to
Government
simplify the
applications can-
process. Yeah.
Government applications can be lengthy.
Yes. Yeah.
But also, not every senior has a computer today.
No. And many seniors don't want computers.
No, they don't want to even look at one.
No. Yeah.
They might take a cell phone, but they won't take a.
Yeah, right. And I'm very proud of some of our older seniors that do have cell phones because they've learned to text,
Yeah.
which is great. And so I am seeing a little bit of a transition with that we're not seeing as many people without computers. It's kind of making a shift now.
Yes.
And we're going to see more and more of people that definitely have computers, definitely will have email, and all of that. But
Well, most jobs now you have to know how to use a computer.
oh, definitely.
So.
Yeah.
Even working at Walmart,
Yes.
if you run a register, it's a computer.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But there's so many things. I mean, if someone needs to go into a nursing home, and you got to handle Medicare and everything else, you can assist them on that.
So we do. We don't do a lot with the Mass Health applications, but we do have resources to pull people in
Right.
to help with that.
That's what I mean.
Oh yeah. If we are not able to do something, and that can be anything, not just with Mass Health, we're gonna find the right person, the right resource to assist. And that's essentially what we do. We do a lot of like that case management
Yeah.
stuff, just to put people in the right direction.
Now, you also run the Meals on Wheel program, right?
So that's through Tri-Valley. Tri-Valley is the area agency that covers the.
But you're involved with them.
They do have a nutrition site coordinator in our building,
Uh-huh.
and that person oversees 3 routes that go out to the Northbridge area.
Right, so I mean, there was some, I
So
know
they're
there
in
was
the
some
building,
collaboration with you.
But that doesn't, I don't have to supervise that necessarily. I do help the site coordinator with different things
Right.
when he needs assistance.
But
but
the
he
senior
works for
center.
Tri-Valley.
Yeah, but he needs a place to establish.
He needs a place to be, so,
Yeah,
Tri-Valley, we have a contract with Tri-Valley, it's an in-kind contract where they can utilize the building, to do the Meals on Wheels
and
program.
like we said earlier, the food bank is out of your building.
Yes, yeah. And that's also coordinated by a separate program, Northbridge Association of Churches. And they have a pool of volunteers that do a phenomenal job. And
But here again, they need a place to.
they need a place to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just can't set up in a parking
No.
lot.
No. So again, all of these little partnerships, it's just, it's a win for all of us
Yeah.
because we all work together.
Yeah, and then you also have the busing program,
We have transportation, yes.
your transportation.
Yes,
And you not only take care of local, you take care of, people have to go out of the town, right?
that's right. So for people that have medical appointments outside of Northbridge, we have a medical volunteer driver program. So we pair a client with a medical driver who will take them to the appointment, stay with them, and then return them home. So a very personalized service. We do charge a fee based on location. The drivers can request to be reimbursed for their mileage.
Yeah.
I have a few drivers that choose not to, so that's a big help.
Yeah.
But that program is self-sufficient. The fees that come in help us to pay out the mileage, and we never
Right.
have a shortfall. That just always reimburses itself. Right now, I'd say we have about 12 drivers that we can choose
Oh,
from.
wow.
When I first started, we had close to 20 though. So you can see that volunteer ism in that area has declined a little bit. Some people get nervous because they think about the liability of
Yeah.
driving somebody in their own personal vehicle. The town of Northbridge does have an umbrella policy,
So
but
they
it is the driver's insurance first,
Yeah,
and then the umbrella policy would be secondary.
right, so if their insurance didn't cover any more of the injury or whatever happened,
Then the umbrella would pick
umbrella
it
would
up.
come in, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Statistics show that people that do volunteer driving like that, their number of incidences are so low,
Right,
because they're being very cautious. When you
Yes.
have someone else in your vehicle, you know how you drive when you have, maybe not necessarily Linda, but when you have, someone else that you have in your car that is maybe just a friend or acquaintance, you drive
well,
differently.
when you're older,
and you're a little overly cautious maybe.
But when you're older too, you're a little more cautious.
Oh, definitely. Well, I would
Yeah.
hope so.
You
Yeah,
got, you
yeah.
got that hot rodding out of your system years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Some do. Some
Yeah.
maybe not. I don't know. No.
But, yeah, I mean, that's a very important program because in some cases, you could, elderly that can't drive anymore.
Or their children work full
Their
time.
children work yes. Or
So
they're widowed
mhm,
and they don't have to
gave up their
access.
driver's license. And that's the other thing too. I know that's a very difficult subject that we've had to help families with, and but to be able to have the option of our transportation program helps some people say, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I have to give up my license. I do have some options. I recently have the WRTA travel trainer came to the senior center.
Yes,
So I've been serving on the advisory board for the WRTA for a little over a year. And so I've come to know the WRTA a little bit better. and the travel trainer did come and do a presentation at the senior center, and she's fabulous, by the way. So if anybody is watching and wants to learn the shuttle system that we have, so the two blue buses that you see within the town, there's shuttle A and B. We have schedules at the senior center, or you can go on WRTA website and get that information. But when I first looked at the schedule, I'm like, just looks so confusing to me. But this travel trainer will actually come out and travel with someone that wants to learn the system.
Oh,
So that's an option too.
that's great. We got WRTA.
We do. And I want to keep them here. So that's
Yes.
why I kind of jumped in a
Well,
little
that's part of
bit.
the MBTA program
Yeah.
because we do have to pay into the MBTA now. But the thing is that you can get that as long as you're on the route. It doesn't matter where you are. You just step out and wave,
That's
and
it,
they'll
wave.
pull over.
And you can also do what's called a flex. However, you do have to call, I think don't quote me, but I think you have to call 48 hours in advance. So to flex, which means that the shuttle could go a certain distance off of its main route.
Oh,
So if somebody lived like a half a mile off of the route, I don't even know if they would even go that far, I shouldn't say that. But they will flex off a little bit to the route to pick somebody up at their home. But you can
okay.
only do it, I think it's twice in a month, but that is an option.
So say the route's on Providence Road. You live partway up Benson Road.
Right. They would flex off
Yeah.
of the route to go get that person,
Ah.
to get them onto,
And then drop them back off the same way.
if they needed to, but they would have to specify that. Yeah.
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 Because they're a good asset to get to Walmart.
Definitely, yes. And
But
that's
not
what I
only
wanted our
Walmart.
people to know, is that, yes, we may go to Walmart once or twice a week,
Right.
but we're super busy, so this is another option. And maybe you
Yes.
don't want to go on the days that we go to
Right.
Walmart. You can go to Walmart Monday through Friday with WRTA.
You also go to Millbury Mall.
Yes, yes.
And thing is, from the Millbury Mall, you can get a Worcester City bus
You can then,
and go into the
transfer.
city.
Mhm.
So and the rates on what do they charge for the WRTA?
Nothing,
It's free.
fare free.
Oh my, that's even better.
And so they just approved for another year. So another fiscal year, they run the
Yeah.
same as the town fiscal
Oh,
year.
and you don't have to even pay. You know, when I was a lot younger, as a teenager, I didn't have my license yet. I was going out with a girl from Worcester.
Yeah.
I used to take the bus.
Oh, yeah.
It used to
How much did it cost you?
50 cents.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
I used to get it right in front of my house.
Mm-hmm.
It'd take me to the Worcester bus terminal,
That's awesome.
which is no longer there.
No.
That was on Portland Street.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's
now,
where the Worcester Center used to be.
oh, the Galleria, right?
Galleria, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
down in on Front Street.
Right. So now they're on Foster.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I had to pay. 50
Right.
cents back then was a lot
I
of
was
money
going to
for
say
me.
that was a lot of money.
But this is free.
Yeah, this is free, at least for another year. So,
Yeah, I do see a lot of people picking it up.
which is good, because their ridership was not so great, and now I think the numbers are
Yeah.
going
Well,
up.
and the weather gets better, you'll see more. I know we got the new park right down here on.
Oh, do we? What's the name of that park?
But there are a couple of benches right there.
Yeah,
So you can sit on the bench.
of course, and
And
wait for the shuttle.
When you see the shuttle coming, just
Yeah.
walk out and we give them a wave.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I do see them at Walmart all the time.
Yes. Yeah. They circle through, and they go to Linwood Mill as well.
Yes.
Which is great. And I've told people, the folks that live there, to try to learn the system, because I said, they're going through your property. You
Yeah.
might as well just look at that as another alternative.
I think they, when they go down to Linwood, they then go back up to Church Street,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can get downtown.
Yeah, exactly. So during the feasibility phase of looking at the project for 44 Cross Street, Adam and the architect and myself met with WRTA to just give them a heads up about this potential project, because we want them to reroute a little bit so that they could come through Cross Street as a part of their schedule.
Well, that would be easy enough to do.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
as they're heading down to the Linwood,
Yeah.
The Linwood Mill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work out great.
Exactly. So they were excited and thankful that they knew about it ahead of time, and they didn't see that it would be a problem at all. So,
Now, on your bus, you have a standard route, or
so
yours is based on people who apply, right?
yes. So whoever, it's based on reservations of people will call in at least 24 hours in advance to request a ride based on, if it's a medical appointment, they need to tell us the time of the appointment, or if it's just to come to the senior center, what they're coming there for. Or we do have designated shopping days too.
Right, Shaw's, Walmart. You
Yeah.
go out of town as well?
No, we just stay within Northbridge. Yeah.
Because I know some senior centers, I see their senior center buses
Oh,
at
yeah.
Walmart from
Yeah.
other towns.
Right, yeah. No, we just stay right here within Northbridge. We were offering Hannaford once a month, but the numbers for that were dropping, so we stopped that. If there's a request and there's enough of requests for that, we
You'll
may
do it
look at
again.
it again. There's a new grocery store that's coming to Uxbridge.
Yeah, Big Y.
If people are interested in checking that out, we may look at that as, a trip over there at some point. I'm not opposed to it at all.
Right.
But for the most part, or for right now, for the time being, we just do the Walmart and Shaw's, the dollar store down in Linwood,
Yes,
Dollar General, I think it is.
Dollar General, yes.
Yeah, but we take people to do their laundry. They go to the laundromat, hair appointments, medical appointments, to go visit a loved one in one of the long-term care facilities, nail appointments, you name it. I mean, just wherever they want to go within Northbridge, we will accommodate.
So originally, the senior bus was supplied by Phillips Supermarket.
Yeah,
That was the only market it went to.
yes, that was it. Absolutely.
But I can understand what
Well,
they
of
paid
course,
for it.
of course. Yeah, yeah. And it's so neat. I don't know if you follow our Facebook page at all, but I recently posted a picture of that very first van that was
Oh.
donated by them. And it's so funny to look at that to what we have now.
Yeah. And what you got now is by the generosity of Unibank.
The older one is,
Yeah.
the older bus. The new bus was ARPA funds.
Oh,
Yeah, so the brand new, it's a 24. It was ARPA funds and the Friends of Northbridge Elders combined. The other bus that we have, the 2016 bus, that was a combination of Unibank, Friends of Northbridge Elders, and the town of Northbridge.
we talk a little bit of Friends of Northbridge Elders. That's quite an organization.
Yes, that's the nonprofit
Yes.
that is the fundraising arm to the senior center.
Do other senior centers have that?
A lot of senior centers do have friends groups, some do not. We've been fortunate that our friends group has been able to sustain itself
Yeah.
since, I'm going to say they were established in the 80s. I've been doing some research, and you would think those numbers would come back to me, but I've had a lot of numbers in my
They're
head
very
recently.
important though, because they do fund a lot of events for
They
you.
do, they do. So they, they supply the program volunteer coordinator with her budget, her yearly
Oh.
budget for all programs. Because the town budget for the Council on Aging is very, very small.
Yes.
And we do not have a line item for programs. So we rely on grants, the Friends Group, donations. Unibank has been a great sponsor this year. We become very creative and try to give quality, good programs, what people want.
Advertising in your bulletin.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so you got to be creative because you
We
don't
do.
got to.
We don't
Yeah.
have a lot of money to work with, but
Right.
Amy has done just a phenomenal job bringing
And you
the
rely
quality
heavily
of
on
our program.
volunteers too.
Yes. Oh, without the volunteers, we would not be able to do what we do. We have, to date, we have 87 volunteers.
Wow.
Yeah. And they all, have their own talents and
Yes.
bring so much to
Yeah,
us.
and they're there for zero. They don't get any payment at all.
No, the only ones that do get something is the senior tax work-off folks.
Uh-huh.
So they do get compensated, which means that they get money off of their real estate tax.
Oh, but that's not that much.
1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for some, that's
Well, that could be substantial.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But they get that program all through the town. You can be working at the tax collector's
Oh, yeah.
office. You can work at the town clerk's office.
Absolutely. Yeah. It doesn't have to be just at the senior center. You could
Right.
be assigned to any department within town. Sometimes the schools. I know folks have gone down to the DPW.
Yeah,
Wherever folks are needed.
yeah. And it's administrative work.
Yes, a lot of it is. At the senior center, we can be a little bit more creative and have folks in different capacities with the senior tax work off. So that's it's a great program also for folks.
You got to be a senior to get that.
Yes, yeah. There is a criteria. It's on the town website. Sharon Suzienka in the town manager's office. She oversees.
Don't they? Do you get a 1099 on that? I think someone told me you did. So you got to declare it on your taxes because it's like a pay, even though you're not seeing the money.
Right, even though it comes off of your real estate tax.
Right.
That's a good question. We'll have to look into that one. Yeah.
But in most cases they don't have that much of an income anyway, so it's not going to make that
Much of a difference.
No.
No.
And
Yeah.
and hopefully we get the new tax bill and we don't have to pay taxes on Social Security anymore.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
It kills me every year. I got to write that check and send it in.
I know. Right. So that would be
Yeah.
a nice relief. for
You shouldn't
people.
pay any taxes on your retirement.
You shouldn't.
You've already paid
You've
money
already
on that.
you've already been taxed and paid on it, and you're
Yeah.
right. Exactly.
But anyway, we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
Hopefully, was it May 20th?
May 20th. But the other thing to point out is that early voting is
Yes.
going to be available,
Yes.
and that's
It's the first time in a town election.
Yeah. So starting May 12th through the 19th, town clerk's office, and she's probably not in her office. I don't know how Linda's gonna set that up, but
In the past, you did it on the top
I
floor.
thought so too. Or she might use one of the conference rooms.
Yeah, she's not expecting a huge crowd.
No. But during normal, regular business hours for town hall.
Yes, you can go down, you'll get a ballot, and you can fill it out. I think there's no contest for selectmen. I think there is a contest in school committee, possibly, I'm not sure.
No, there was only one name, I
Oh,
believe.
so there's no contest on
No,
any of
unless
the
there's-
elected offices?
Yeah, right in.
So the only thing is the questions
The
on the ballot,
questions, yes,
the two of them,
yes, 2 questions,
one for the school
Yep.
and the senior center.
yes,
And the senior center is a lot lower, even though it's a debt exclusion, even the amount of money is a lot lower.
yes, it is, yeah.
So, I mean, let's do a favor for the seniors.
Make this one time, well,
And you'll
make
be
this
one too.
investment, yeah.
If you're lucky enough, you'll be one day.
That's right. And again, if you don't want to use it as a senior center, know that it's
It'll be a
going to be a
community
community
center.
resource.
And there'll be other
Exactly.
things that'll happen there.
Yes.
I mean, Upton just built a beautiful one.
Oh, it's gorgeous, yeah.
And that's what we're looking at, something like that.
Yes.
Where you have community parties, who knows, we could have a Christmas party there.
I would love to bring back the Thanksgiving meal that we used to do for years.
Yes.
I would love, that would be one of the first things I would do, Harry.
Yeah, and
So.
that would be a perfect place for it.
It would be, yeah.
I think one of the churches still does it, right? A couple of them.
St. Peter's Church does have a dinner, but I would we had been doing it for years when we had Senator Moore, Mike Moore, was
Yes.
with us. He sponsored it for several years, and it was one of our biggest events, and we miss it. I miss it, and I can't wait to bring it back.
Well, you got the Veterans Day breakfast,
Hmm.
and you're at capacity on that.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't
Yeah.
register early, you can't get in.
That's right. That's right. And
There's just no
just-
enough room.
it's awful to have to turn anyone away and
Yeah.
or to put somebody on a wait list. It just,
Yeah, because there's no room.
no,
And if you get the new senior center, there will be room
there'll be plenty of room. Yes.
and plenty of parking.
Yes.
My dream, you get the senior center there, and then we take over the house.
Yeah.
We make that a nice museum, because I'm a big supporter
Oh,
of the museum.
we would love that. And just, again, another great community partner.
Yes,
Just so many possibilities.
which I can announce.
Yes.
Not next week, but the week after, I'm gonna have the people from the Downtown Crossing Committee. They're planning a big event in June.
Sidewalk sale?
No, to
Oh.
celebrate the new historic district,
Oh,
Downtown
okay.
Historic District, and to feature each one of the buildings that are in it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And this is part of the national park now.
That's right.
We're only one of two communities in the Blackstone Valley, the other one is Hopedale, that are part of the Blackstone National Park.
That's
Not
pretty
the
cool.
National Corridor, but the National Park.
Yeah, that's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you,
And
Harry.
we'll see you again in
Have a wonderful summer.
September. Yeah.
Yes.
See you in September.
September.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Good night.